I'm just sitting here just trying to get some things. It's not even time for me to start yet, but just getting things set up. So I just want to check in with y'all, see how y'all doing. Of course, this is Monday. The weekend's over. I guess I put it that way. And so it's back to work Monday morning. One of the thoughts I had this morning, well, before I even get into it, just for those who have been here to this channel before, thank you, of course, for being here and welcome back. For those, this is your first time seeing one of my videos or daily vlog or anything like that, if you like what I'm talking about, then feel free to subscribe. It does not hurt the channel. It helps the channel so others can see the content as well and hear the messages that I share as well too. So, when this morning I was sitting in the car. Actually, I was actually going to do a video in the car. I chose not to. I chose just to come on into the office this morning. But I'm just sitting down in the car, just thinking about life this morning, just thinking about what. I guess sort of what life means to me, how I view life and that kind of thing. Of course, I love life, and that even though it frustrates me sometimes, I'm sure I'm not. It frustrates everybody. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But what I was thinking about more was, or deeply, was about how my journey throughout life, how we actually went to church yesterday. We went to a church here in Tucson called Pilgrim's Rest. That was our first, well, technically our first time visiting that church in an actual service. I put it that way. Me and my partner and his daughter went, so that was a good thing. We all got a chance to go together. We hadn't been together in a while, I guess I put it that way. But like I said, we did. I think we all enjoyed it. At least I enjoyed it yesterday as well. And like I said, just that sermon yesterday just had me just thinking about life. He was talking about the Holy Ghost. I'm hoping I'm saying this right, y'all. The Holy Ghost. Okay, the Holy Ghost. And I just assume that the way I can relate it to myself is that the Holy Ghost is like my intuition or my discernment, because otherwise I'm kind of new in my walk. I mean, I was atheist for a long time, actually, until I'm 49. So I guess probably until, let me see, I don't know, about 6, 7, what is this? Maybe about, I'll just say less than 10 years ago, I'll put it that way. So of course, like I said, I'm learning too. I'm still in the process of reading the Bible for the first time. I'm probably about a little bit more than halfway through, I think. But like I said, just learning what things are and how things relate to me and how things relate to life. And like I said, he was talking about the Holy Ghost yesterday and how we all have to, well, I guess, I don't know how it works, y'all. I'm assuming that we're all born with it, or we all develop it, I guess, as we grow through our life and that kind of thing. Like I said, the only way that my partner kind of explained it to me is more how I would understand is about intuition, intuition and discernment. And that may not be the right words, but like I said, that's how he related to me, because that's how I can understand it. I guess I put it that way at this time. And like I said, just thinking about my journey throughout life, not just about the Holy Ghost, but just about the times that I've used, of course, my intuition, or the times that I've used my discernment in certain situations, and didn't realize that that was the Holy Ghost, I guess, in my life speaking and work, talking through me and that kind of thing, and walking through me. I guess I put it that way as well. Even though I said I didn't believe, or whatever the case may have been back then. Like I said, it just put in my mind just my journey, just about how much that, or how I'm seeing, I put it that way, that I was always covered in some kind of way. And some of y'all may not agree or may not like it, what I'm saying. I don't care. But this, like I said, this is my thoughts this morning about things. And like I said, he started off the sermon yesterday talking about how, I guess, thank God for those folks who have, of course, stood in the gap for us. Or for me, rather, not just me, but everybody in the church. But I mean, I'm using this because I'm talking about myself, but those people who have stood in the gap for me to, of course, pray for me when I couldn't pray for myself. And I remember back, even though I did not know my grandfather all my life at all, but I met my grandfather, my dad's actual dad. I met him probably when I was like in mid-high school, I would say. So of course, he used to always tell me how he'd been praying for me and that kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, praying for me to do what? Because I mean, I like I said back then, I didn't believe in that kind of thing. And I thought it was stupid. And it wasn't that the church, it wasn't the actual, I guess not religion, or I guess, I don't know, the Bible itself. It was the people within the church, because of course, I grew up in church. I went to many different churches growing up. Well, not many, but a few different churches growing up with my family, my big mama, my aunts and stuff like that. So of course, I've been in church before. They're all Baptists. And it's Porter Finley. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I hope that you're doing well. And like I said, it ain't like I never been in church before, but I just didn't understand all the ins and outs and that kind of thing. I'm starting to understand them now. So like I said, when my grandfather used to tell me that he prayed for me, and he wasn't the only one. There was other folks that were saying they were praying for me as well for different things and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, what are they praying for me for? I'm not sure. But I understand, looking back at those times, I understand now. I guess I put it that way. Like I said, when the pastor was talking about it yesterday, somebody standing in the gap for you when you couldn't for yourself, I understand that now. So like I said, definitely, like I said, I just want to, I'm not sure where I was going with all this morning. Like I said, it was just on my mind because I just, like I said, was thinking about me growing up and me, how I was, of course, moving through life and that kind of thing, moving through life and trying to figure out things and my own self-care, my own self-love journey, all those types of things. And yes, I'm doing well. Thank you, Porter. I'm definitely doing well this morning. I hope you're doing well too. And I hope this new year is treating you well. I guess I put it that way as well. But like I said, just thinking about those things, just thinking about life and where I came from to where I'm at now, and how blessed I am to still be here. I guess I put it that way, because of course there was a few times, of course, that I could have been killed or dead, which I'm pretty sure that I know that already. And like I said, definitely, just knowing that I've survived a lot, whether it was the instances where I was, of course, put in harm's way. Mostly unknowingly because I didn't know, but like I said, and then of course just all the traumas and the dramas that I've been through, my parents drug using and my dad beat my mom and those types of things, and how I was still able to, of course, still push myself and force myself to make sure that I'm going to school and getting the grades, and so I can do something different with my life instead of doing what they were doing. I guess I put it that way. And I know people always say, you used to say back in the day, you act like you're trying to be better than everybody else. And my thing is, if that's how you want to feel, then feel that way. I guess you doggone right. But in my mind, what I was trying to do was get myself out of a situation that I did not want to be in any longer. And like I said, different people are going to tell you different things. Just know that. Like I said, if I would have stopped back then, like I said, just thinking about the journey, if I would have stopped back then and said, oh, these people are right, I shouldn't be acting better than nobody else, I would have never been, I guess, gotten to the point that I'm at today, regardless as to how many times I've been frustrated on these vlogs and talking about work and talking about this and that, going off on this. Like I said, yes, I was upset in those moments, upset, still having hard feelings, still having resentment, still having bitterness. But of course, today, I'm okay today, I put it that way. But like I said, because it took me a while to, like I said, to work through those things. And for anybody that's going through a journey, just trust me, it's going to take you a little while to go through things. In order for you to get it off your chest, I do mine on video. Sometimes I do it on post. Some people may not do it out in the open like that. I'm one that does, actually, but everybody else probably don't. Of course, don't do it in public, which is fine. Like I said, this is just me. I've been doing videos for, what is this, 2026? So I guess almost 10, but I guess 9 years now, 2017, the fall of 2017, when I first started doing live video, actually, over on Facebook. So like I said, that's just how I get things off my chest and how I talk about my journey. I put it that way. I actually talk about it. I like to talk, as y'all can tell. But like I said, definitely just me just thinking about, like I said, my journey this morning and thinking about what he talked about, the pastor talking about the Holy Ghost and that kind of thing yesterday, just and how people stand in the gap for you when you can't. And like I said, that just reminded me that to think back on my journey and all the folks who told me that they were standing in the gap for me. I know what that means now, who were praying for me when I, of course, did not know how to pray, because I still don't know how to pray all that well, but I can do it to a certain extent. I guess I put it that way, that I'm still learning as well, because I'm not sure what to say half the time. The way I related to myself and the way I do now, just talk like I'm talking to this camera. I put it that way. It may sound crazy and folks like, who you talking to? I can care less. I'm talking to God. That's all you need to know. Or I'm journaling and I feel like I'm writing and talking to God. It feels that way. It feels like that to me. But like I said, everybody's going to have their own walk and their own journey when it comes to that. But like I said, yeah, I'm not sure where I was really going with this word this morning or this message this morning. But like I said, I just want to share this with y'all. Like I said, I'm just reflecting over my life and just thinking about some of the things, like I said, the pastor said yesterday, and how I can now see that where I've been, where I'm at now, and like I said, the things that were going on, how somebody, of course, I'm sure that was all prayer, I'm sure, whether I believed in God or not, it was definitely prayer and somebody standing in the gap for me when I couldn't either or didn't know how to do so. But like I said, y'all, I don't know where I was going with this message, but I just hope that something in this video touched somebody this morning, like, because I'm not sure where I was going, but like I said, that's all right, y'all. Sometimes the videos are gonna be like this. Just know and believe that, because sometimes I can't get my thoughts together. I can't figure out how I'm gonna put it together yet. I may have it in another video later on this week. You never know, and it usually happens that way. So with that, y'all, like I said, I just want to get off here. Like I said, just reflecting on life this morning, and I hope that you all get a chance to reflect on your lives as well, to think about some of the things that folks may have. If you believe in a God or that kind of thing, if somebody stood in the gap for you or prayed for you, and people had told you that throughout your life, I just hope that you think back to those times and just know how blessed you were, regardless as to whether you believed in God or not at that time. I didn't. I can tell you that. But like I said, I understand some of the things that folks were telling me back then as of now. As of today, I put it that way. So like I said, y'all, I'll see y'all on the next daily vlog. I hope this helps somebody in some type of way today. Just even if it's just to think about their life, where they've been and where they're at now, and the journey that they had to get through to get here to this point today at this time at 8:21 a.m. I put it that way. So with that, y'all, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. And again, Porter Finley, thank you for tuning in this morning, and of course leaving the comments and that kind of thing as well. So peace out, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a good, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you already haven't as well. Have a great one, y'all.